to On Air, where we talk about everything hospitality, from hotels to influencers and everything in between. We will feature guest interviews with hospitality professionals who will share their experiences. Your host, Russell Edmond, has spent over 25 years in the hospitality industry, beginning his career with Marriott International in hotel operations before moving into the sales arena and becoming a relationship building director of sales and marketing. Russell then went to the other side as a hospitality entrepreneur. He now consults in the hotel and meeting space, which includes being the CEO of Russell of Hotels Group. Did I mention he was a veggie foodie? Yes. Russell is always looking for good non meat eats. Please welcome your host, Russell Edmond.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining On Air with Russell of Hotels live hospitality talk show. Today is Tuesday, February 7th, and it's show number 195. Yeah, we're on a countdown to 200. And you know what? I've been kind of tossing this idea around like, am I going to do something different for 200? And I keep coming back with no, probably not. We just keep it moving. I did a big thing for show number 100 where I had some past guests come on and just talk about their experiences and their experiences being on the show, and then they were able to ask me questions. So maybe maybe I'll do something like that again. I don't know, but we'll see. I still got 5 weeks to go, right? So got 5 weeks to go, so I'll figure it out from there. But thank you guys so much for joining On Air with Russell of Hotels, which is a live hospitality talk show. I'm your guest. Oh no, I'm your host, not your guest. I'm your host, Russell Edmond. I very seldom tell people my last name, right? Unless you know me already, it's Russell Edmond. I always say Russell of Hotels, right? So I'm just getting caught up in this whole thing, Russell of Hotels. So my name is Russell Edmond, and I go by the name of Russell of Hotels. So there you go. So I'm the host of the show On Air with Russell of Hotels. So we're live here from Hollywood, live from the the rooftop of the Godfrey Hotel. Okay, Godfrey Hotel, and which is located in Hollywood, overlooking the Hollywood sign, of course. So there you go. So once again, hope you guys are well. We're going to get into this thing because I got some stuff to go over today. You guys, hold on to your seat, because when I say hashtag hospitality unplugged, it's going to be hashtag hospitality unplugged today. That just means that, we talk about any and everything, the good, the bad, the ugly, things that we question, things we like, wonder why we do that. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm here to bring all that. So here we go. But I cannot start the show without saying, hey, boom. It's Black History Month. Okay, so happy Black History Month to everybody, because Black history is not just Black people's history. It's American history. So it's everyone's history. So if you're an American, I'm an American. A lot of Black Americans. We're all American, and it's part of the history. It's part of the fabric of the United States. Okay, so it's our history. So, but it just happens to be Black history, and we get a whole month to talk about it, right? You know, we got you know the whole month. Okay, so we got like, what was it, 28 days to go, right? So anyway, and I'm gonna start doing quotes. Okay, so for the whole, well, I guess I only have maybe like 3 more shows in the month of February. So to celebrate Black History Month. So I'm gonna do quotes. So I'm gonna do famous, Black quotes. Okay, and this one is from Shirley Chisholm. Shirley Chisholm in 1968 was the first Black woman to be elected to the United States Congress. And she said, and I love this quote, right? This is probably one of my favorite quotes of all time, because it's just so. I mean, I'm just gonna read it. If you don't give us if you don't give if you man, I can't even speak today. If you don't give a seat at the table, bring a folding chair. If they don't give you a seat at the table, bring your own darn chair, is what she's saying. So never take no for an answer. Just because there's not a seat at the table does not mean you don't have a voice, right? You can't form an opinion. So that's basically what it says to me. When I started this show, no one asked me to be on the show. I was on someone's show, but no one said, hey, you should start your own show, right? I said, you know what? I'm gonna start my own show. You know what I mean? So because I had something to say, something to talk about. No one was asking me to come on and talk about everything just about me or talk about my experiences. So I said, you know what? No one's offering me a mic, so I'm just gonna I'm gonna buy my own mic and talk. So so there you go. But yeah, so if they don't give you a seat at the table, bring a bring a folding chair. In fact, I drive around with a folding chair, one of those lawn chairs. So if I like, sometimes I just go to the beach. I just want to just get away from disconnect or whatever for a couple of hours, and I don't like sitting on the sand, right? And I don't take blankets and things like that. So I have this little small, short-legged lawn chair. So it's in the trunk of my car, right? So every time I go to the beach, I take that and I just sit down there and I chill. So if there ain't no seats at the beach, bring your own folding chair. Okay, so there you go. But anyway, so yeah, but no, thank you, Miss Shirley Chisholm, for that quote. And like I said, for the coming week, the next 3 weeks, I'll be sharing more quotes from Black history. Okay, so there you go. So one thing I did not mention: this show is live on LinkedIn, live on YouTube, with the replay on those same platforms, as well as the replay is on. I'll put it on Facebook as well as Twitter. And then this is actually a podcast as well. So once this is done recording, meaning this show right here is done recording, give me an hour or so, and I upload it to wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. So yeah, it just takes me it takes me less than an hour, but sometimes I get caught doing other stuff. So, but give me about an hour and I'll put it up. But it will definitely be up by the end of the day, like 5-6 o'clock p.m. It will definitely be up. So there you go. So without further ado, and comments, you are more than welcome to make your comments. I can see them right here. In fact, I didn't even put that here. See, that's one thing. So I'm glad that I'm talking to you guys, and makes me remember that I need to put my comments up here, or comment page. So if you're making comments, I can see them. So thank you guys so much. In fact, let me see if there's some comments there. No comments over there. So either if you're on LinkedIn, if you're on YouTube, just use the chat box at the bottom and just put your comment. Just say, hey, like, hey, what's going on? Hey, this is so and so. Hey, I'm here. I'm in LA. I'm in Alaska, wherever the heck you may be. Just throw me a little note, because I love saying hello to people. So there you go. So moving forward, industry news. Now I got some stuff today, some industry stuff. Okay, what does all this mean? Well, I'm gonna explain it to you. So just sit back and hold on, and I'll explain it. Lower demand for midweek business. Okay, so we all know hotels. They thrive on business travel, corporate travel, business travel. That midweek, that Monday through that Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday are probably the peak days for business travel, right? That's when the business travelers come in. That's when the meat of those travelers come in, and that's when hotels make the most money, right? But because of COVID and because of companies have not been, they have not gone back to having people working in offices. There's still there are a lot of people working remote, okay, which means that number has gone down. So there's lower demand. If you look at what hotels are doing midweek, like say Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, they don't have a lot. There's not a lot of corporate travel going on in there. And then these are individuals. These are transient business travelers. Transient meaning they're not attached to a group. They're just individuals that may be traveling. Okay. But remember, make sure that we are coding, and this goes to my hotel people. Make sure that we are coding these people correctly. Everybody that makes a reservation, everybody that stays in a hotel is given a market code. They don't know that, right? But we internally as hoteliers know that, okay, because when you run reports at the end of the month, where the business come from? You got business, transient, corporate, group, you got Smurf, you got just leisure, straight up leisure, you got government, you have all those different market segments. So everybody is given a market segment. So make sure we know why these people are in. Okay, when they check in, just confirm that, what brings you to the area? Something like that. Well, I have a business down the street. Okay, make sure they're coded correctly. Oh, I work for TRWs down the street, so I work for them. Okay, that's the corporate transit. Okay, bloop, just change it in there if it doesn't reflect that. make sure you change it, because at the end of the month, at the end of the year, you want to see what, and this is, like I said, these are hotel people. You want to see if those markets have come back. You know what I mean? Or maybe they're coming back disguised as something else. But if we're not asking that question, we're not gonna know. Okay, so but right now, and this is just reports that I'm getting, not just from going to various hotels and asking questions. This is something that's been written about as well. So, in traveling news and a lot of those industry magazines and things like that, that's what they're saying. So there's a lower demand for midweek business, right? So meaning they're not coming back yet. So when are they coming back? We don't know, but they'll be back. So it's just gonna take time. And what I think it is, and I'm gonna get into this a little later because I'm gonna touch on another one of these bullet points I have, is that these business travelers could be disguising themselves as leisure travelers. They're coming for business. They're coming for business, and they're extending their stay as a leisure guest or customer. But we're not coding them correctly. Okay, so don't sleep on this leisure thing. I've been mentioning this for the last well over almost 2 years now. Okay, I peeped this out a while back, right? So people have, the industry people have been saying things about leisure too, but they're not dissecting it as much as I am. I don't think they think it's a viable market segment, but it is, and we need to pay attention to it. So yeah, right now a lot of hotels are experiencing this lower demand for midweek business. Okay, so maybe group business, if you can get your groups to come in the middle of the week, opposed to like, they come on Monday, Tuesday through Thursday. Maybe if they can come on Tuesday, because then you got to get Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday, check out on Friday. Believe me, shifting of one day makes a huge difference for hotels, right? Just the shifting of one day. Okay, so hey, you heard it first here. If you didn't know about this, you heard it first here on Air with Russell Hotel. Boom. Okay, next one. Limited and select service hotels doing better due to price points. Okay, limited selection hotels. Okay, limited and select service. That would be like your Courtyards, your Hampton Inns, your Homewood Suites, and things like that. Those are limited or select service hotels. They're not full service hotels, right? So those are the ones that are doing better at this point. Okay, so because the price point, I believe that the price point is lower, meaning that it's less expensive than if you went to a full service hotel. A lot of these limited and select service, depending on where it is, they don't charge for parking. Okay, so that would entice me if I'm on a budget or if I have an expense account and I can't spend a lot of money. Where am I going to go? I'm going to shop around and look to see, okay, do I have to pay for parking here, or maybe parking you still have to pay, maybe it's cheaper, less expensive. So just remember those things. So limited service hotels are what's going on or what's happening, and plus they have the market in there, the in lobby market or whatever the heck they call. I'm not sure what they call them, but you've seen some of those hotels that have the markets in there where you can buy beer and wine, you can buy chips, you can buy sandwiches, you can buy all snacks, candy, whatever. They have a whole spread of things. They have refrigerated things, frozen items. You can buy all those things because a lot of them don't have a restaurant, or maybe they had kind of some type of food service thing, but now they cut back on it and maybe it's only open for several hours a day or whatever. Well, if it's closed, you can buy your stuff from the market now, and then you pay for it. Either it's a self checkout or you go to the front desk and they check it out for you. You can just charge it to your room. So a lot of these things are going on, which is taking business away from the big properties, the big box hotels. And I think, like I said, the price point is the caveat, right? The price point, if I'm saving, $10-20 a night and I'm staying for 3 nights, I mean, shoot, why would I stay there? You know what I mean? And I get free parking here too. Hello. And a lot of times they give you the free breakfast, maybe a continental or a upscale continental where you can make your own waffle and all this kind of stuff like Residence Inn does. And like I said, some Courtyards, Hampton Inns, Homewood Suites, they do that as well. So there you go. Dylan says, it's impactful when group planners see less opportunity because of it. It is impactful when group planners see less opportunity because of it. Yes. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Dan. Thank you so much for your comment. Appreciate that. And everyone else, please feel free to make comments. I welcome those comments. Just like I said, I'm going to read them, right? So Dylan Beaumont, General Manager, Fairfield Inn by Marriott in Eugene, Oregon. So I do appreciate you. So yeah, so limited and select service hotels are doing better due to price point, and which means your bigger properties, they're not, not saying they're not. It depends on the market that you're in. Okay, I'm not saying across the board, but given certain markets, yeah, your limited service, your select service hotels, business is better at those properties than it is at the full service hotels. So you got to deal with a lot of stuff when you go to full service hotels. Deal with a lot of people, deal with a lot of layers of management and employees and whatever. Maybe you don't deal with that. I don't know. So there you go. So let me just make those disappear as well. Leisure business, limiting weekend group business. Now, I had a conversation yesterday. Now, so I do these lives on Instagram every day, Monday through Friday, right? And Sam Thompson, who is with Sync Meeting Management, Sam Thompson owns, he's a partner in Sync Meeting Management. That's the name of his company. So he does similar to what I do, but he does contract negotiations for clients as well. But he also does the management of those meetings, right? That's one thing that I don't do. So if I have a client that needs their meeting to be managed, I will refer that business to Sam. Okay, so that's what he does. But we were doing a live yesterday. Well, I was doing a live and he came on, and he was mentioning that the leisure business, because the leisure business is staying, before leisure business would pretty much for the most part would be on the weekend. Okay, for the most part, right? Depending on where you are, if it's Palm Springs, LA, whatever, it would be limited to the weekends. Well, now because people are working from home, leisure business can come anytime, right? Hence that whole bleisure effect that I was just talking about. You guys follow me now? So this is the bleisure effect, okay? So people, these bleisure people, is business and leisure, okay? So I travel to the hotel and I stay Monday through Friday, okay? But I stay there as a business person, as a business traveler. But then I bring my family in, right? My family joins me Friday afternoon, and we stay through Sunday. So now you're a leisure. You're not necessarily that business traveler anymore. Now you're that leisure person. So a lot more people are doing that, meaning they're coming in during the week, but they're staying through the weekend, okay? Which means now there's more business in there. Now there's, the people that want, like, associations that meet on the weekend, they have group business they want to bring in. Now they can't get in because the leisure travelers are there along with their family, right? So now there's less opportunity for those associations that want to stay on the weekends that normally historically have been meeting on the weekends. Now they're having a hard time finding space. They may find the meeting space, but they don't find the rooms because the bleisure or the leisure and the corporate people are taking those rooms and they're extending their stay, right? They're staying through the weekend. So that's that bleisure effect that I've been talking about. I just named it bleisure effect, right? So that was my term. I just came up with that. I just pulled that. I pulled it out of, right? So I just pulled that out when I was writing this today. When we were having this conversation, he was saying, yeah, that's kind of throwing everything out. Especially Sam's in Palm Springs, so he does a lot of meetings in the greater Palm Springs area. So Palm Springs, now that was known for is weekend. If you're in the summer, you don't have, basically the rates were lower. You can almost stay in any hotel you wanted to, right? It didn't matter if it could be Five Dime in the Ritz-Carlton or whatever. You were able to stay at a cheaper or discounted rate. Well, things have changed because of COVID. Things have changed. So people are not afraid to go when it's 200 degrees in Palm Springs anymore in the summer. So all year round, there's now a demand for rooms in Palm Springs. So even this bleisure effect is affecting there as well, and in the summer as well, right? So those rates that we used to get used to, like the 99s and the, up to maybe $129 rates, those rates are gone, okay? They don't have those rates anymore in Palm Springs. So it's that bleisure effect. that people, they kind of sleeping on. So make sure that we're coding everyone correctly. Make sure we're paying attention to this. And sometimes you have to change those market segments based on the day. Because, like I said, if I'm here, I initially come in as a business traveler, a transient business traveler, but I stay through the weekend. I'm no longer a business traveler. I'm now a leisure traveler. Okay, so that's the part that I think that we may be missing the boat a little bit. We're not changing the market segment. And correct me if I'm wrong. So correct me if I'm just, Russell, you're totally off base. Well, let me know. Let me know. Dylan says, I say so because I saw a conversation with Russell and Sam in which they said business travelers staying over into the weekend causes there to be less availability. Yeah, I just said that. See, Dylan he was listening to that conversation yesterday. So that's the reason why he said that it's impactful when group planners see less opportunity because of it. Yeah. So thank you, Dylan. So Dylan was in on that conversation and he gets it. So make sure, like I said, are we changing the market segment or market code or whatever you call it now, to reflect that? Because like I said, people come in, Dylan, it was a good conversation. Yes, it was. Thank you. So yeah, people will come in as a business traveler, but then they extend and they're no longer a business traveler anymore. They're a weekend guest or a leisure guest, or you put it together, and that's that leisure effect. And yes, it does affect some hotels. It will affect that weekend group business, primarily that association business that wants to meet or historically have met on the weekend. So there you go. Smart gentlemen discussing trends. Okay, thank you very much, Dylan. Appreciate that. This is another conversation Sam and I had yesterday. So territory or market segment versus relationships. Okay, this is for my hotel peeps as well. This has to do with okay, we go to these trade shows, right? We call them trade shows, but they're Destination West, Smart Meeting, all those types of things that salespeople go to, right? So we go to those, and the part where we have the appointment, that's what I call the trade show part, because it's set up in booths or tabletops, and you have it's kind of speed dating and a trade show together, right? So you literally have, I think the last one, you got 15 minutes per appointment, which I think that's too long. Okay, so I think the sweet spot for that is like 10 minutes. Okay, I've done them at 6 minutes, and that's way too short. Okay, you can't even get anything out, and you can't find about anything about anyone in 6 minutes. Now, I want to say probably about 10 minutes is probably that sweet spot. But anyway, no one's gonna listen to me, but I just thought I'd throw that out there because I've done them all. I've done, like I said, 6 minutes. I've done 5 minutes. I've done 10 minutes, 12 minutes, and 15 minutes. 15 is way too long. You would think 12 minutes would be okay, but 10 minutes is actually that sweet spot where both parties, because it's a conversation with myself and then a hotelier or someone from a DMO, destination marketing organization, that represents a destination. So we're having a conversation about what I have to give them, meaning what types of meetings and groups that I represent, and then they talk about their hotel and how we would be a good fit for their hotel, and let me know about their destination and where their hotel is located, and all the bells and whistles of their hotels, and things like that. So we're going back and forth, and you can't really form any kind of thing other than just information. Relationships, you build those after those appointments are done, when you're having a cocktail, eating lunch, eating dinner, that kind of thing. That's when you form those kind of relationships. But anyway, so we're talking about that, right? So you go to these shows and you form these relationships with people, okay? And then at the end of the conversation, they say, okay, well, I handle some sports groups and things like that. Oh, well then I need to give you to Todd. I'm like, well, who's Todd? Well, Todd handles that market. Well, I'm talking to you, Sarah. Why would I need to talk to Todd now? So this is where the disconnect is from hotels to meeting planners, right? We form this relationship. We go to these shows. Todd is not here. Sarah is here. I'm talking to Sarah, okay? But now Sarah wants to throw me off to Todd, who I've never even friggin' met before, okay? So that's where that disconnect is. So hotel people, we need to fix this. Now, what you do internally is up to you. So if you go back to your office and say, hey, I go to these shows, I represent this hotel or I represent this organization, destination, or whatever. I want to keep whatever I kill, I want to eat. Okay. I eat what I kill. Okay. So I'm a salesperson, right? I'm the person, I'm a hunter, right? So whatever I kill, I'm going to eat. So, let me relate that to people like, what are you talking about? You talking about hunting now? No, I'm talking about in sales, you're the hunter, right, or the gatherer, okay? So these people are hunting. They're there at these shows and they're hunting for business, okay? And they're forming relationships with people like myself and Sam and all these other people to go, right? So the disconnect is when we start talking about, they start talking about market segments versus territory, okay? Well, I handle the Southeast region, okay, but this meeting is we're in the Southwest. And why are you here then? That kind of thing, right? So, I mean, that's what I'm saying in my head. I'm not necessarily saying to them, but it becomes a problem when they want to throw you off on someone else that you have never met before. That's the problem, okay? So, and those are things we need to fix and we need to work on. Well, I handle Smurf. This is corporate. I'm going to give you to someone else. See, that's where we get so technical with that kind of stuff. Why don't we just, if you're at the show, maybe you should handle, if you start this relationship, maybe you should handle that. Maybe you should go back to the powers that be and say, hey, I go to these shows, I do, Destination West, I do Smart Meetings West, North Star, whatever. I do these, right? And I want to take those, right? So if I'm hunting for it, anything I kill, I keep, or I get to eat, okay? And I don't see that being a problem, right? Internally, because remember, my experience comes as a director of sales and marketing as well as a general manager of a hotel, right? 14 different hotels over 25, 30 years, okay? So I've had that situation happen before where people would come back and say, hey, I want to keep these people. Okay, let's keep them because you met them. You're cultivating that business, okay? So it wouldn't be fair to that person that if that started booking, I started booking in this particular hotel, right? But it doesn't go to the person that I met. See, that's where the problem would be, right? So I just think it's internally, you guys can do whatever you want to do internally, to make it work. But those are kind of some of the disconnects that we see, as trends moving forward. And this ain't a good trend. That's a bad trend, okay? And it's a trend that's been going on for a while. It's just that sometimes no one's bringing it up. If you don't know it's a problem if no one is bringing it up. So Sam and I had a conversation yesterday about that, and that's one of the things that he wants to see change. And I said, you know what? I agree with you. I experienced the same thing. So we talked about that yesterday. Dylan says, you don't eat things you kill except for plants. Yes, I'm a plant-based eater. We know that, Dylan. Thank you. So just like I said, that's an internal thing that hotels or DMOs need to kind of figure out. I think more hotels than anything. I think DMOs sometimes will be a little bit more flexible. Maybe, I don't know. But that's not for me to say. But yeah, territory or market segment versus relationship. So what's more important? Is it more important that you form that relationship and I'm willing to bring, based on what we talked about, now I'm willing to bring you this business. I'm willing to talk further about this, but now you want to pass me off on someone else? No. So it should be more about the relationship and less about, okay, how are we going to divvy up this space? Internally, you can just come to the meeting of the minds and say, hey, I like to keep this because of this. And, what director would just say, no, you're not going to do that? I would hopefully he or she understands the big picture and understands what relationships mean. And meaning that it could be this relationship can be either we're going to come to this hotel or not. It could come down to that. And who wants that? Who wants that? So, but anyway, so that's that. Next, boom, Mr. Craig Sullivan. Thank you. I want to thank Craig Sullivan. I appreciate him. He invited me to CLIC, which stands for California Lodging Investment Conference. Craig is the founder and president of CLIC, and the conference is coming up, right? He's invited me before, and I wasn't able to attend, but he, kind of, held a gun to my head and said, "You're coming to this thing," and I'm like, "Okay, I'll be there." So I will be there. I'm committed. I'm going. So you'll see more about this every week that I do this show up until March 1st. I will have this on here. So Craig's a dear friend of mine. Craig, in fact, Craig, my first experience on a podcast was on Craig's podcast. I was a guest on his podcast. So it's called Check Out California. So I was a guest on his, and then on my way home, I started thinking, like, you know what? I could do this. I could do a podcast. That's how I was trying to, kind of recreate or create my brand and get more presence out there. And I said, maybe if I started with that, that would, kind of get my brand out there. And that was the start of Russell of Hotels. Boom. So yeah, but no, I thank Craig. I thank him all the time. When I talk to him, I thank him for that. And because you got to start somewhere, right? And sometimes you're exposed to things that you didn't think you ever would be exposed to. And I was exposed to his podcast, and he was a gracious host and all that. And anything Craig is about or he's involved in, I'm gonna be involved in. So there you go. So Mr. Craig Sullivan, founder and president of California Lodging Investment Conference, that's coming up March 1st and 2nd of this year, and that's in a couple of weeks, right? And it's at the Westin South Coast Plaza. That's in Orange County. That's in the OC, behind the orange curtain. So, so I will be there. Okay, I've committed and I'm there. Okay, so you'll see a lot more postings about this other than on this show. So there you go. So check it out. If you have questions, you just go on clicconference.com. That's easy, right? Clicconference.com. Get information. Sign up. You get to see me there. Okay, so So if you weren't going, and now I'm going, you need to be there. Okay. If for anything else, just to meet me and just to hang out with me. Okay. So there you go. Let Craig know I said that too. Okay. So. Oh boy. Okay. Moving forward. So these are things that I always talk about. 3 things. Be intentional, make decisions, and take action on what's important to you. Okay. So I always say this. I'm intentional about this show, doing these things, talking about, the industry, and someone that looks like me is talking about the industry, right? So it's important that I'm out there being intentional, talking about the good things about hospitality, some of the things that, may not be so good, but whatever. It's about creating dialogue. It's about creating awareness for people that may not have known what goes on in the hospitality industry. Like I said, I have 14 different hotels, between 25 and 30 years of experience in the industry. So a lot of things that I talk about is based on my experiences, right? Not based on someone else's, and I just happen to be taking their experience and saying it's mine. No. It's based on my experiences. So, and I'm still experiencing things now. So that's the thing. So just because I'm not on property anymore, I still closely tied into the industry. I still do. I do hotel site selection, so I'm on properties all the time. I do consulting for hotels. I do content creating for hotels. Everything I do is basically hospitality based, right? Primarily hotel based. So everything I do is for the industry. Okay, did that sound good? Okay, so be intentional, make decisions, and take action on what's important to you. Number 2, be you. So whatever you do, what all else fails, just come back to you. Just reel it back in and say, hey, I'm just gonna be me. All right. So no one can be you, right? And who wants to be me? You know what I mean? I don't want to be anyone else, and no one should want to be me. Okay. But what you should see is that, if he can do it, I can do it. Right. So if he can get on here and talk about things, random things in hotels that I had no idea they even happened, I can go on and talk about whatever. It doesn't have to be hospitality. You can do whatever, right? But if you have a voice, we have platforms for you, right? And people they'll always say, well, there's so many podcasts out there now and this and that. Yeah, there's like 2.5 million podcasts out there. But guess what? the average length of a podcast is like 6 episodes. So yeah, there's 2.5 million podcasts out there that people have started, but not all of them are active. Uh, 6 episodes is the average, okay? And like I said, I'm at 195, right? Not that, I've always been above average, right? So at least I'm trying to be above average. So don't get caught up on those numbers. Like we get caught up on metrics and the numbers. Well, too many people are doing it. No, because you have your own network of people, your own audience. You have a different way of spinning things or talking about things. I got my own way of talking about this industry because it's based on what? It's based on my experiences. You would talk about things based on what you know, right? So we can both be hospitality podcasts, but I guarantee you it'd be so different because my experience comes from different types of hotels. Your experience comes from those different types of hotels, or maybe not even hotels. Maybe you're in the DMO space, right? Maybe you're in the restaurant space. So it doesn't matter. Just if you have something to talk about, just talk, okay? And if you have questions about how to get started, let me know. Now I'll let you know, and I'll push you in the right direction. So not a problem. That's what I'm here to do. I'm here to as a resource, right? So if you need education on how to do a podcast and what platforms to use or what platforms I've used like 3 different platforms. This is like the 3rd platform that I've used, and this one seems to work okay. This is called Ecamm Live. So I keep hearing this buzzing in my ear. That's one thing when you produce, you're the host and all that. And I gotta fix things on the fly. While I'm talking to you, I'm trying to fix the buzzing that I can hear. Well, I can't hear it now. So there you go. But okay, number 3, be represented because my representation matters. So yeah, it matters to me that people that look like me do shows like these, talk about their experiences in the hospitality space. Yeah, so it's important, right? So muy importante, okay? That's my Spanish pronunciation of that. So, but yeah, so it's very important. And like I said, anybody can come on and do it. So if you see anything, if you learn anything, you say, well, shoot, if Russell can do it, I can do it. So there you go. Boom. So next, who's your best brand advocate? Now I said all these things. You know darn well who your best brand advocate is. It has to be you, right? It all starts and finishes with you. Okay, so if you're not doing enough to get your brand out there, then whose fault is it? It's your own darn fault. So if I'm not posting enough, and that's why I post a lot, right? That's why I do shows like this. That's why I do the lives. That's why I do the postings. That's why I become guests on other people's podcasts or shows because I'm my best brand advocate. And if no one knows that, who's gonna support you if people don't know it, right? And people always get excited if you're excited. If you're not excited about something, like if someone says, "Oh, you're that guy, that Russell guy that does that talk show, right?" Yeah, I kind of, yeah, I do. If you're like, not excited about it, they're not gonna be excited about it. They're like, shoot, I don't want to listen to that dude. This dude's a dud. Dude's whack. You know what I mean? They're gonna say whatever. But if I'm like, yeah, I am. Yeah, I started it I'm about to do my 196 show next week. Moving up to 200. What do you do? Well, maybe you can be a guest on the show. You know what I mean? Well, I'd love to have you on there. You got to show enthusiasm for it, right? Because if you're not excited, they're not going to be excited. So you are your best brand advocate, okay? So if you work for a hotel, talk about that hotel that you work for. You can do your own social media stuff, right? That's what a lot of people, they miss out on. And I'm give somebody props real quick. Ernesto Alonso, he's the sales manager over at the Sheraton Universal, okay? He's his best brand advocate. I see him posting things about he's going to be here or he's doing that or the hotel is doing this or we have this group here. I mean, he's posting these things and it's getting me excited. I'm like, dang, okay, Ernesto. So I'm sending him notes like, man, good job, keep it up, because that's the difference between getting business and not getting business, because they work his hotel where the Sheraton is right on top of the hill, basically almost on top of that hotel. There's a Hilton property, okay, and guess what? They're not doing nothing like that, okay. So if people see that and his enthusiasm, and then it comes down to, okay, either I'm gonna work with Ernesto or I'm gonna work with the hotel up on the hill, right? And they see Ernesto is more enthusiastic. They see him on Instagram or LinkedIn or whatever. Who are they more than likely gonna go with? They're gonna go with Ernesto. So that's what I'm talking about. So that thing, that little thing that people think, they say, well, I don't want to do that. I mean, I'll look crazy or foolish. I don't know what to do, whatever. Do you think he didn't think the same thing when he first started? But we had conversation. I said, dude, you need, you know, do a little more. It's okay. We can do it together. You know, whatever. Do a little more, right? Do something no one else is doing. See what your competition is doing and do the opposite. Boom. That's what I would do. That's what I would do. So we're missing the boat. Okay. When I say we, always hotel people, DMO people, more restaurant people. I think we're missing a boat that we don't do enough on this thing they call social media, because social media for some, in some respects, is is giving people a bad impression about how to do things. And don't get caught up in what other people are doing. Get caught up on what you're doing, right? And what is the best way to get your message out to people? To me, it's this. It's this avenue. Is the social media postings. It's all that kind of stuff, right? It's all about, to me, it's all about the brand Russell of Hotels. Okay, so I want people to know what Russell of Hotels is, what he stands for, or what it stands for, and how he can help. Now, if I didn't do this, you would never know who I was, right? Or what the heck I do. Did I had 14 different hotels under my belt, that I was a general manager, a director of sales, I started off in housekeeping? You would know that. And I'm not afraid to tell the story, right? Because that's my reality, right? Because people will question, like, well, what kind of experience do you have? Well, no, I tell you. You don't have to wonder or guess. I tell you what my experience is. I don't have a problem with that. And that's where we need to be. We need to let more people know about what we do and how we can assist them. And this is what I represent, right? So if I work for the Hollywood CVB, I'll be doing things like this. Hey, and this is where I work. Hey, I get to come to work every day and look at this view, the Hollywood sign, right? We got X amount of hotels here in Hollywood. I'm live here from the Godfrey. Boom! Wow, I just made a commercial for Hollywood. Okay, so CVB, y'all reach out to me, okay? But that's how it works, though. Seriously, that's how it should work, right? If you work for a brand, you represent a brand, and I just mentioned Hollywood because that's one of the most iconic brands. And people think because it's a famous brand that they don't need promotion. They do, because you work within that Hollywood, the landscape of Hollywood, right? But what do you do? Okay, you don't work at the sign, right? You may work in Hollywood, but what do you do in Hollywood? Okay, so just explain that. If I work for the CVB or the DMO in Hollywood, I mean, what do you do? Who do you represent? What's there in Hollywood? Because believe me, people know Hollywood, but they don't know exactly the inner workings of Hollywood. So, or what's going on, or what you do, or what is there to do? Okay, they may think they know everything, but there's so many things to do in Hollywood, and so many things that are there. A lot of people don't know. So you still have to talk it up. You still have to, show that enthusiasm, right, for your brand. You're the brand first, but you represent the brand. Like I just give an example of that Hollywood brand, right? But I work for Russell of Hotels, right? So I want to make sure you know what Russell of Hotels is, how it can help you. I do meeting planning. I do content creating. I do consulting. I train general managers on the sales process, what they should be looking for from their sales teams and things like that. I do, a myriad of things. That's a big word. A myriad of things that do many different things. Okay, because I know Dylan's going to say something. So there you go. Did I beat that up enough that you are your best brand advocate? Hope so. What are you doing to keep your brand relevant? So, man, I said all those things, and yeah. So, I mean, what do you do to keep your brand relevant? One thing I do, I mean, I just went through a whole list of things that I do, right? This show is one thing to keep me relevant or keep the brand relevant. The postings that I do, the IG lives, the YouTube lives, the being on LinkedIn and being on YouTube and Facebook Lives and all those things, that's what keeps me relevant. Well, I hope it keeps me relevant. I hope people know what I do. But it's not for the people that follow me now or know what I do. It's for the people that don't know what I do or the people that don't follow me. That's what this is all about, right? It's not for those people that already know you, that may roll with you, that support you already. It's for the people that don't know you even exist. They don't even know that meeting planning or hotel site selection, I need that. I didn't even know what that was. I mean, it's part of my new responsibility, but I didn't know it was a name for it. You know what I mean? So you may be doing things, different components of what I'm talking about, and may not have a name for it or know that it is a career choice for certain people, right? So there you go. So my job is to, not necessarily just to put out this brand Russell of Hotels, but to let people know that, the people that are coming behind me or behind us in this industry, that there are many viable options when it comes to, a career choice within hospitality, right? And a lot of people didn't go to college, okay? So it's not one of those things that's bound by your degree, right? That you have to go to college. I mean, yeah, of course, I would like everybody to go to college and at least experience it, right? But that's not everybody's path, okay? So, but a lot of people came up in the industry that did not do that. They just started working, and they were hard workers that busted their butts, and other opportunities came up, and they took advantage of the opportunities that came up, and they became whatever, directors of sales and marketing, general managers, whatever, VPs of of whatever the company is. I mean, I know I have a whole list of people that came up that way. So no two people came in this industry alike. No two people. Okay, so just remember that. So don't let that be a deterrent, because even if you don't have experience, we'll teach you. Okay, you don't have to have experience. Just come on and just be willing. Be a willing participant. Have enthusiasm about what you're going to be doing, right? But you got to have some guest service skills, right? You got to be nice to people. You can't come in here being a jerk. Okay, so I know I tried it. It didn't work. You can't be a jerk. Okay, so so these are some of the things that I do. No music today, okay, but these are some of the things that I do. I'm the brand who helps your brand. What I do and how I can help you. Hospitality personality, content creator, sales training for general managers, hotel site selection. So those are some things I do. These are some of the things that I've been recognized for. Podcast is one of the top 30 in globally, not just here in the U.S., but globally. So yeah, so these are some of the things that I'm proud of, that I can help people with. Hey, and this is a Garland Hotel, right? And I'm sorry there wasn't a break between there, but I was just at this hotel last week. In fact, let me stop here for a second. Let me set it up first, okay? I was at this hotel, the Garland Hotel, last Friday. I had clients there, right? Like I had a client that had a group there. So my clients' clients were staying at this hotel, the Garland Hotel. It's a 257 room hotel, 25,000 square feet of flexible meeting space, boutique hotel, independently owned. The full name is the Beverly Garland Hotel. Now, Beverly Garland, if you Google Beverly Garland was an actor here in Hollywood, right? So she bought a hotel, and it's transitioned to different names, but now it's the Garland Hotel, and it's a beautiful hotel. It's small, like 267, like I said. It's definitely boutique, definitely independent, and it's easy in, easy out. Everything is centrally located, but it depends on where you need to be, right? So it's located in North Hollywood, it's near Universal Studios, right? It's near Universal Studios. It's not too far from Burbank, so Burbank has an airport, right? So you can fly into Burbank. There's many music studios. The CBS Studios is there as well, which is on Ventura Boulevard, not too far away. That's Studio City. So North Hollywood is between Universal City and Studio City. That's what North Hollywood is, right? So yeah, it's great, and it's right around the corner from the Brady Bunch house, right? So remember the Brady Bunch, the show? Dun, 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 dun. Here's a story, a lovely lady. You remember that? Okay. So that house is actually around the corner from this hotel. So, you just got some information. So if you're ever in, you want to, a lot of people do that, right? And a friend of mine, did I tell this story? This was during football season, right? My friend, buddy from Sacramento, his son plays for University of Washington, and they're here playing UCLA, right? So we went, had tickets to the Rose Bowl, all that kind of stuff. In fact, what's her name? Debbie Vale, a girl at Pasadena CBD, invited me to the game, right? And I had an extra ticket for him. So it just so happens he was coming for that same game, right? And I said, hey, I got an extra ticket. You should come to the game with me. So we went to the game, right? So thank you, Debbie Vale. So so he wanted to see. Okay, this is how it started. So, do I have time? Yeah, I guess it's my show. I guess I do have time, right? So he wanted to see. Okay, he said, "Do you remember the show Sanford and Son? Does anybody remember the show Sanford and Son from the late '70s? I guess." Well, anyway, he said, "Hey, I wonder if you can take me by the Sanford and Son house." I'm like, "Where the heck is that?" Because I remember the show, right? But I remember it taking place. Well, at least the storyline, they took place in Watts. Okay, so of course I'm thinking, what? You want to go to Watts to see this? He said no. He said, well, here's the address. So I look up the address, and it's actually in North Hollywood. The junkyard. Because the only time you see it is when the show comes on, and the one of the stars of the show is driving the truck, and he's passing. He drives into where this place is or was. It's now a plumbing company now, right? So it's no longer this whatever junkyard that it was for the show. It's now a plumbing place, and the whole facade has been changed. But one thing that stayed the same is that because you can't see the name of the street on the on the trailer for the show, but you can see there's a liquor store across the street from there, and that liquor store is still there, right? So the liquor store has been there probably 50, 60 years, right? So it's still there, the same sign and everything. So he had the address. So we drove over there, and he's taking pictures and he's doing videos and all this stuff in front of the Sanford Son house. And I said, hey, by the way, since we're over here, I said, you interested in the Brady Bunch house? He said, that's over here too. I said, yeah, it's not too far from here. It's literally like not even 2 miles from where the Sanford Son house is. The Brady Bunch house is. Now in the Brady Bunch, you only see the front. When it comes on, you see the facade of the house and everything, right? So we drove up, and he was just blown away by that. But that hotel, the hotel, the Garland, is literally around the corner from the Brady Bunch house. I know I told a whole story to get to this point, but you know what? Hey, I had time, so there you go. So if you're ever at the Garland, just Google Brady Bunch house. It'll give you the address, and it's less than a mile from there. Okay, less than a mile from where that house is, or from where the Garland is. So the Garland definitely, if you're in the area, you need to stay there. So I'm gonna show the Garland now. Now that I set everything up, now you can see it. So that's the bar, and they're celebrating their 50th anniversary. So the hotel's been there for 50 years. So that's the lobby right there. Very colorful. I love the colors. I love some of the decorations, the design, just that the vibe in it. It's just cool. And there's a pool, very nice pool. They do dive-in movies. You know what a dive-in movie is? Instead of drive-in movie, dive into the pool. They have dive-in movies, right? So yeah, it's kind of cool. It's kid friendly, family friendly as well. And it's easy to get in and out. They have valet parking, or I believe you can self park on your own as well. But it's very easy in and out. Freeway accessible. Is right next to the 101 freeway, and it's right next to Ventura Boulevard, which a lot of restaurants on Ventura Boulevard. And that's the same way you would go to CBS Studios, to Sherman Oaks, to Encino, to Studio City, and then the opposite way to Universal Studios. It's not too far from Burbank, and into Hollywood. Okay, because North Hollywood is on the north side of Hollywood. So see the mountain right there, the hill right there that says Hollywood in back of me. On the other side of that, that's where North Hollywood is. So there you go. So you got some information today. So anyway, let's move on. We're almost done here. Ooh, how do you increase your social media engagement? And like I said, I'm a big proponent of social media. So how do you increase that engagement if you're interested in that? And you should be. Be consistent. You know, whatever you do, you need to start somewhere, but be consistent. Consistency is the key. I didn't just start doing this show, as you know, it's 195 shows that I've done, right? And I didn't start just doing postings. I've probably posted things probably 1,000 times. Now I know, and you may say, "Oh, you're exaggerating." No, because I look on YouTube, the amount of videos that I posted on YouTube is in the high 600s. So, and that's just the stuff from YouTube. Now, there's stuff that I posted long before I started using YouTube on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram as well, right? So, yeah, it has to be in the thousands. So, but yeah, but you have to start somewhere, right? Don't try to be, where I am or where anyone else is. You start where you are, okay? So, but just be consistent. So when you start, be consistent. If that's every week you're gonna post, we'll post every week because believe it or not, they'll get used to seeing things, and you start getting comments and things like that. People ask you questions or whatever. You want interaction. That's what you want, and you want to make sure you're adding value. Like hopefully this show and some of the things I talked about, it adds value to people, right? Well, if it didn't, no one would be watching it. Okay, so definitely be consistent, add value, and then be you, be authentic. Like, don't try to come on being someone else, right? Just be the best. This is so cliche. Be the best Russell that you can be. Whoever the heck you are, just be authentic, okay? Whatever that means to you, okay? Now that you know all that stuff, what tools do you use, Russell? I use stories, I use reels, I use lives, okay? So stories on Instagram, but Facebook has stories as well. Reels, both Instagram and Facebook both have reels, and then live. So I do lives on YouTube. I do lives on Instagram as well, and then YouTube Shorts are similar to what a reel is. Okay, so you can go to YouTube and hit Shorts. It's basically videos that are less than a minute. So there you go. So I use all those different tools in order to stay relevant. Who's hiring? Okay, boom. Let's see. In fact, there was something that I was very interested in seeing, and I was so happy that this building didn't just stay vacant. Remember the Standard Hotel? The Standard Hotel, I guess someone bought it because Standard went out of business, I guess, during COVID. Okay, so there was two Standards in LA. There was one downtown and there's one in West Hollywood. Okay, so they both closed down, and from what I understand, the company sold off or went out of business. They defaulted on the loan, whatever. They went out of business. So I just heard like last week or 2 weeks ago that someone bought that hotel and now they've redone it and now it's going to reopen. I think it's going to open under another name. I'm not sure what the name is yet, but they are hiring for formerly the Standard Hotel downtown LA. They are hiring a director of sales and marketing and a general manager. It's managed by, and Crestline may own it as well, but I know Crestline as a management company. So they're managed by Crestline Hotels, the former Standard Hotel, looking for what am I trying to say? A director of sales and marketing and a general manager. Okay, so if you're interested in that position, you need to check it out. It's on Indeed. Go to Indeed.com. Okay, I used to love that hotel. In fact, that was one of the first hotels that had a rooftop pool. I don't know if you guys remember that back in the day, back in when the lifestyle hotels were just coming on board, and the Standard was the Standard, right? Remember the Standard had the sign that was upside down, so it was a Standard, right? So they basically, it was backwards. The word Standard was backwards. There you go. So look it up. Look it up. Come on, look it up. Don't just take my word for it. Look it up. The Proper Hotel Santa Monica, they're looking for a hotel managing director. And then the Langham Hotel Pasadena, they're looking for a hotel manager. Okay, there you go. And non-meat eats. I always talk about non-meat eats. What non-meat eats did I eat? So last week I went to Vegan Exchange LA. Now that is it's a permanent thing. It's actually in North Hollywood, right? I remember the address. It's 5300 Bachman Bachman Avenue, and that's Bakman. It goes every Sunday from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Now, the first time I went, well, this is my third time, but the last time I went, which would have been the second time, they had maybe about 10 to 15 vegan food trucks. Now they got over 30 vegan food trucks. They added a beer garden, vegan beer. Most beer is vegan, but they got beer, wine, um, seltzers and all that kind of stuff. So they got this kind of designated area. They got porta potties. They got little high top tables that you can eat your food on. They didn't have that before, right? So they evolved into something major now, right? So, like I said, every week they have at least 30 vendors, different types of food. I mean, you can get vegan sushi. Oh my God. Vegan Creole food. Are you kidding me? Vegan donuts. Okay. I got this, Maple Bar. I love Maple Bar donuts, but I don't eat donuts because most of them are not vegan. Well, they got vegan donuts there, and it had bacon bits on it. Faux bacon bits. Okay. Meaning it's not bacon bits, but it's salty, it's hickory flavor, that kind of thing. Oh my God. I should have got more than one. I just got one of them, And yeah, I'm gonna say this: vegan food can be a little pricey. Okay, it can be pricey. So don't come there thinking you're gonna get a dozen donuts for $3. Okay, because that ain't gonna happen. Okay, each donut is probably at least $5 a piece. Okay, so there you go. But and they have cupcakes. They have all these juices that people make from scratch. They have all kind of vegan things. They even have vegan clothes and things like that. And I don't know what that even is, but maybe the buttons are not made from animals. I don't know, but you got to be vegan. It has to be a vegan, like the food trucks. Like some food trucks you go to, they may have some vegan options on there, but they serve regular food. No, these have to be 100% vegan food. They can only serve vegan. So they got Mexican food. They have, like I said sushi. They had Creole. They have, like I said, they have the cupcakes. They have chicken. They have sandwiches or burgers, of course, hot dogs. I mean, just stuff that just. They had mushrooms. They had these barbecue mushrooms. Oh my! I was like, are you kidding me? Barbecue like oyster mushrooms. They got cauliflower bites. You name it, they darn near have it. Okay, so check it out. Mac and cheese, vegan mac and cheese. Oh my God, am I just now? I'm hungry, so I need to. It's only what's the day? Today's Tuesday. Well, I gotta wait till Sunday. But anyway, once again, Vegan Exchange LA. Follow them on Instagram, Vegan Exchange LA. Okay, so check it out. It's in North Hollywood. Definitely worth it if you just want to go and check it out. I mean, there's tons of people that go there too. It wasn't necessarily that crowded. I mean, you're able to get your food, in a timely manner. But there's a flow of people going in there, and it doesn't cost anything, right? Other than you pay for your food or your drink, right? It doesn't. There's no entry fee. It's just free. You just walk through. You just walk through and just take a look and just walk back out. If that's what you wanted to do. I don't think you could. They're playing music. They're doing all this stuff. So it's a family kind of atmosphere. People bring their darn dogs and everything. So you got a dog, you can bring him over there or her. Okay. So, and if you live in that area, I think you need to check it out. So, but anyway, there you go. Boom. I'm just full of information today. 3Ps. So we're about done here. 3Ps. Purpose. Know why you do what you do. I know what I do. I know my calling. This is my calling, doing this show, right? So maybe you have a calling out there and you haven't done it, right? But you need to check it out. So purpose. Know why you do what you do. Passion. Either you have it or you don't. If you don't have passion for what you do, you know what you should do? Don't do it. Do something else. Find something else to do. Stop wasting time. Perseverance. Be consistent. Continue to evolve. Don't give up and swerve when you need to. On air with Russell of Hotels, we do not pivot. We swerve. Okay, so you see the stuff coming up in the horizon, you swerve around it. Pivoting, you're already in it, and you're like, oh shoot, what do I do now? Well, so there is a difference between pivoting and swerving. You probably didn't know that before now, but now you know, and you'll always remember that. So, but anyway, this is the end of the show. We appreciate you coming on, and let me just give my information here if you're interested. Like I said, I'm a resource, and I probably do more things than what I mentioned that I did in one of those slides. But feel free to reach out to me at any time. DM me on Instagram, instant message me, send me a message here on LinkedIn or YouTube. My email is there, russell at russellofhotels.com. Check out my website at russellofhotels.com. LinkedIn, YouTube, that's where I live. So feel free to, like I said, send me messages there and just check out what I do, right? And how I can help you or your company, your organization. You have questions at all, that's what I'm here. Like I said, I'm always a resource. So this was show number 195. We'll be back next week, every Tuesday, for show number 196. And always remember, when you book your hotel, you want to book it direct. Okay, don't use the third parties. Book direct. You're gonna always get the best rates. And if you have issues with the hotel, like say you check in and it wasn't what you thought it was going to be, and you book through a third party. What is a third party, Russell? A third party would be like an Expedia, Hotels.com. Okay, well you got to go through them to get things taken care of. Okay, so why not take out the middle person and just go directly to the hotel? Okay, so that's what you should do. That's what I do. Okay, so anyway, you guys have a great day, great week. Appreciate you guys joining on air with Russell of Hotels, and we'll see you again.
Thank you for joining On Air with Russell of Hotels. Please tune in every Tuesday at 1 p.m. as we talk to other hospitality professionals. Your feedback is important to Russell. Feel free to email him at russell@russellofhotels.com with any questions or suggestions. Until next time, try not to be a person of success, rather become a person of great value.